News at noon, the search for Kentucky's next basketball coach looks like it's heading in a new direction. Baylor's head coach Scott Drew may have passed on the job.
Drew was tied to much of the speculation yesterday. WKYT's Dave Baker joins us in studio with the latest on Kentucky's ongoing search in our all-blue coverage.
Guys, Scott Drew was the first choice, but within the last hour, word coming out of Waco, Texas, that Drew will stay at Baylor, where he's been for the past 2 decades. Here's what we know from our sources and our own information gathering. Yesterday, a plane registered to UK booster Joe Kraft flew to Temple, Texas, near Waco, was on the ground for about 20 minutes, and then turned around and came back to Lexington. Scott Drew stayed in Waco, but his wife and family came to Lexington. Among the places I'm told they visited was the Lexington Christian Academy. And after their day was done, they flew back to Texas, and as a family, they were going to spend the night talking things over and make a decision. Early today, spirits were high in the UK camp that an announcement could be coming this afternoon. But about an hour ago, Matt Norlander of CBS Sports tweeted, breaking, Scott Drew has passed on Kentucky's offer and will remain at Baylor. No, we'll talk about Drew here in a second, but one source that I would bet my life on in Lexington says he was never officially offered the job, but has declined any further interest and has removed his name from consideration. UK, as its policy, is not commenting on candidates. Now, the reason I'm holding this phone is just because within the last 2 minutes, we have gotten a statement from Scott Drew. There you go. Look at that, Amy. Thank you. In our program, we strive to put Jesus first, then others, then ourselves. We truly believe God has called my family and I to continue our work here at Baylor, surrounded by the best people and community one could be blessed to have. So that is the statement from Scott Drew just minutes ago. I can tell you now that regardless, he had to have the framework of the deal in play, right, to have the family come to Lexington and check things out. And now in a matter of weeks, Drew has turned down both Louisville and UK. The Kraft plane, according to FlightAware, is in New York City, which would be close to Dan Hurley's home in Connecticut. And, of course, that's where Rick Pitino lives. And for those of you scoring at home, Billy Donovan's Bulls playing tonight in Detroit, guys.
A lot to keep an eye on there, Buzz.
All right.